So you're in the SEC now, just obviously haven't played a game yet, but what's just the biggest difference so far from UNC Charlotte to coming here?
I think everything is different. The SEC is arguably the best conference in women's basketball, and going from where I was before to here is a huge jump. It's a challenge. I love challenges, but just the different type of players you get to play against. You're playing against the best. I'm not saying there weren't any great players where I was before, but here you're playing against high caliber players that really get after it every night. So I just think the biggest difference will be the player personnel and just how challenging it is in the SEC.
What about for you personally, just your personal transition going from there to here, moving to Lexington, kind of just changing your life a little bit? How's that been for you?
It's been pretty smooth, actually. Lexington is a small town. It reminds me of my hometown from Greenville, North Carolina. So it reminds me of that, just a small college town. So Lexington is considered small, but it's a lot to do, a lot of places to eat. You know, as athletes, we love to eat. But it just reminds me of home, honestly, but transition was smooth, as I mentioned before. The community has been very welcoming to just the transition of all the new players that has come. So everybody's just been really helpful just with the transition. The players that did stay at Kentucky, they've been very helpful just to help us maneuver around campus if we need anything, and administration as well. So everybody has been very helpful to make my transition as smooth as possible. Hello.
How's it going?
Going good.
Getting good?
Yes.
Awesome. I have to ask you, you came back and you won the three-point contest.
Yes.
Big Blue Madness.
Yeah.
Can you kind of talk about the trajectory of you working on your shot?
Yeah.
And how you kind of got it to where it is today?
Yeah, so my three-point percentage last year was probably like 30-something%, very low. And that was one thing that Coach Brooks mentioned to me on my visit. He said, when you come here, we're going to work on your shot. So that's one thing that I've been harping on. Me and my coach Sierra Gregory, who was with me at Charlotte, we worked on my shot very, tediously all summer long, just fixing up like the footwork, just how I land and things like that. So over the summer, we've been working on just the little things of fixing my shot to make it more efficient and to make shots during the game, because I was making them a lot of times in practice, just not during the games. So just translating that over. And so Big Blue Madness came and she was like, "You're in the three-point contest." I said, "Me?" So that preparation was fun. I remember the first time I did it, I only made like 12. I was like, oh, and I was out of breath. I was like, like somebody can come replace me right now. But after doing it a couple times, I think my highest of practicing was like 25. So I stopped right there. I said, okay, this is it. I'm not going to do it again until BBM, until Madness. So just being on that atmosphere for Madness, it was fun. I had no expectations. I was just going out there to have fun. But when I realized that I made it to the finals, I was like, you made it to the finals, might as well go and win it now. So it was just amazing. It was fun.
How was your experience at Big Blue Madness?
It was so fun. Just the crowd, I think, like when we were getting introduced, the crowd going crazy, seeing our faces on the court. They had this LED court for the first time, so seeing the different graphics and things like that, it was just amazing. It was a pleasure. I've always watched it whenever I had the chance, but being a part of it, it was just different. It's different. Like, I think the Big Blue Madness is the best madness in the country, and I know Coach Brooks has said it a few times, but once you're in that atmosphere, it's just like, wow, it's like a magical feeling, honestly.
And transferring in, first time in the SEC,
yes, sir.
What do you expect, for your first, maybe your only season here in the SEC?
Expect from just everybody, or just to compete every night. I know the SEC, you have to play every game. There's no gimme games in the SEC as in other conferences, but every game you got to come out and compete.
What was it about Coach Brooks that attracted you to want to play for him?
I just love Coach Brooks, just his knowledge of the game. He's very knowledgeable of the game. I love what he does with one-year athletes, since I'm only here for a year. The goals that he has for just himself, for his players, is amazing. He pushes you to be the best. And he was very upfront with me from the beginning. He let me know that he wanted me, but there's other options out there, of course. But he was just very honest, open, and just he made me feel confident that Kentucky is where I'm supposed to be, and if I come here, I'll reach my goals that I would like to reach.
How much have you leaned on Georgia to understand what he's looking for? Because she's obviously played for him for so long.
I lean on Georgia for everything. Just everything Coach Brooks wise, like basketball wise. if we're like running a play or if I just have a question, just like what does Coach Brooks want in this situation, or like what is he like in these situations. I lean on Georgia a lot just because she's been with him for the longest, so she knows him the best. So whenever I just have a question, I go straight to Georgia.
Coach Brooks described you guys as probably the oldest backcourt in the country. Do you like that description?
It depends how it's delivered, you know.
I think he meant it in a positive way.
Yeah. You know, the wisdom when you say, you know, the most veteran backcourt, see, I'll take that. When you say the oldest, it's like, how long these girls been in college, you know? So, but yeah, I take it as a compliment. Veteran, I have knowledge of the game, so both of us, we're just ready to play, honestly. With these veteran legs and with this veteran knowledge, we're just ready to have fun and play.
Thanks, Dave.
When you went into the portal, I assume you probably had a lot of schools reaching out. How quickly did Kentucky reach out, and how quickly was the process of actually going on a visit and committing and all that? Yeah,
so that's actually a funny story. So as I mentioned, my coach was transitioning to Kentucky. So she told me at first, just probably like a few days in, I was in the portal on a Monday, so this is probably about like a Tuesday, Wednesday. And we were at our old gym, and I'm playing with her. I said, Coach Brooks gonna come recruit me? And I was just saying that as a joke. I was like, get Coach Kenny to look at my film. You know, I love to go to Kentucky play with him. But she looked at me and she said, you for real? I was like, yeah. And I mean, she was like, okay. Probably about an hour or something later, we were still there. She was like, this is me, like coming to you to recruit you for Kentucky. I said, Coach, stop playing. Like, get out of here. Like, you're really playing. She's like, no, I'm for real. And so that process, I think the next day I got a chance to talk to Coach Brooks. So it all happened so quick, but it was also like, wow, this is so hilarious. I just asked her as a joke, but then it turned out to be my reality now. So, yeah.
So was Kenny someone that you followed, I guess, when he was at Virginia Tech?
Of course. I followed Georgia a lot just because I was a huge fan of Georgia, especially like these last few seasons, watching hers and Liz Kitley, watching them play together. It was amazing. So of course, like watching their games, you see the coach a little bit. He's always just sitting there sitting there on the side on his stool. He'll get up when he's excited, but I've just seen that he's very controlled. He's like a very controlled, like level-headed most of the time, level-headed coach. So yeah, I was a huge fan of VTech, Georgia, and Liz Kitley before I even considered coming to Kentucky.
You mentioned Kitley.
Yeah.
Kind of got Kitley 2.0 and Stracker. I guess
Oh yeah,
kind
for
of the
sure.
idea.
For
As
sure.
someone who watched Kitley, do you see the similarities, or where are the
for
differences?
sure.
You know, what's the comparison you make?
I just think watching Georgia and Claire's chemistry, it reminds me so much of how Georgia and Liz play together. But you know, Claire, she's young, but she's doing some of the things that you can see that she's going to be where Liz was, or even better than Liz when she gets to that level. She's just so confident to be a sophomore. She's just so good. Her IQ and knowledge of the game is just amazing. Just the one similarity that I will say is the fadeaway shot. Now, Claire's might not be as efficient as Liz yet, but the fadeaway shot is definitely there. For sure.
Gotcha.
A few weeks out from the start of the season, where would you still like to see this group improve before you head into the start of games?
Yeah, still just getting more competitive with each other. We're too nice to each other, so just getting that more aggressive edge, like just coming out, just getting that aggressive edge. Just, as I mentioned before, the SEC is a dogfight every night, so we just got to come out and be ready to fight.
I want to ask you not a non-basketball question.
Okay.
So the hurricane come through North Carolina. You're from North Carolina.
Yes.
Do you have any family that's affected? Anybody that you know? And just speak on that.
Yeah. Luckily, my family wasn't near where most of the damage was done. Majority of my family, we got rain, no flooding or anything, just a lot of rain and a lot of wind. So my family wasn't impacted negatively from the hurricane. So.
Okay. Just wanted to ask.
Thank you.
Thanks.
What do you think of Kenny's Big Blue Madness intro? Did you all have any say
Oh my
in that or
goodness,
anything?
no. We were like, what's going on? Because I didn't know like if they were going to get introduced like we did and walk across the stage. I didn't know if they had their own thing. But when we seen him, like we saw it on the big screen and he was walking around, I was like, oh, this is hard. And how he did the handshake with his daughter, I said, oh yeah, this is nice, this is hard. So that was very fun to be a part of and just to watch.
What about that floor?
Excuse me. Yeah, the floor was amazing. It was At first, I was a little skeptical. Like, we have to shoot on this, like we have to do things on this, but it wasn't really bad. It had a lot of friction. But the court was amazing just to see, like, as we walked out, like videos playing on the court, the different graphics. It was just amazing. Like, that's the things you only see on TV.
Yeah.
Like the NBA All-Star. Like, that's the only time you've seen that. So the fact that it's been in college basketball and we were the first college to do it, it's like we're the standard.
Yeah.
We are the standard. So it was amazing.
How was it actually playing? Like, was it about as similar as it could be, I guess, to a regular court?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It was kind of grippier.
It was a lot grippier. I mean, like,
Is that good or bad?
I think it depends. Maybe for defense it's good because your feet is like you're always on your heel. Is always you're always ready to move. So I think that's good. But other than that, I think will I be able to play in it? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Honestly, yeah.
So you've got 2 6'6", 6'7", whatever they're tall, you can say. Georgia's had one before, but now you've got 2. How have you seen her and yourself operate having those options down low?
I think it. Can you repeat the last part of your question?
Just how you and Georgia have been able to operate with 2 bigs. I don't know if you work on the set, like if y'all are going to be starters together or whatnot.
Yeah. It's been amazing, honestly. Just seeing how Clara is young. She's a sophomore. Also, our other freshman, Clara. She's a freshman. She's from a different country, so she's coming here just on a limb, really, like coming to school for 4 years. So she's living a new lifestyle. So, but just to see how she's been able to forget all of that and still show up to practice every day has been amazing. Being able to play with them has been amazing. I haven't played with a lot of 6'5", 6'6", 6'7" players, so just being able to get the ball to them high, low, wherever they want it, and just seeing them work. It's my favorite thing to do. I love to watch them work on the post, do their post moves, the fadeaway shot, wherever they have in their bag. It's fun for me to watch. Just pass it into the post and let them do their thing. It's been fun.
Yeah. Tiani is someone that I feel like we don't really talk about too much. She was 5-star, just had a lot of injuries, I felt like, at North Carolina. Where have you seen her fit in so far on the floor, at least?
Tiani is going to do every little thing that we expect that she does. I mean, she's going to go get hard rebounds. She's going to crash and get the ball hard. She might get it in transition and take it all the way. She might shoot a 3. I mean, Tiani is really going to be our X factor for the season. If Tiani has a great game, we win. You know, she's just going to be our X factor, she's just going to be everything that. She's going to be the person that we need her to be. Wherever Coach Brooks needs her or wherever he needs her, that's what she shows up as. She's just our everything player that I can say. She does all the little things. She show up. She brings energy. She's just that player that's, if we need something, she's going to give it to us.